This is everything you need to know for the bar exam. Hey y'all, my name is Kellen. I'm a recently licensed attorney, and today I'm going to be telling y'all how to pass the bar exam and what happens if you don't pass the bar exam. Because as much as we hate to admit it, it is a possibility, okay? It happens to the best of us, me included, yes. I took the bar exam twice, once in February, once in July. I passed my February test, my most recent test, for all jurisdictions, whereas my first test I didn't pass for any jurisdiction. So, yeah, this is coming from somebody who has experience both failing and passing the bar exam. I thought this video would be helpful to recently graduated lawyers who are in the process of getting ready to study for the bar. I just wanted to get on here and share some of the things that I've learned from the first test to my second test so that maybe you can avoid some of the mistakes that I made. And honestly, if you don't avoid the mistakes I made, I can tell you how to get out of them because that's what we did, okay? This is not going to be a video about substantive material that you need to know. This is strictly how to get through the test, okay? These are more tips and tricks and mindset hacks. I want to give you a way to approach your studying because you're going to be studying a lot. I learned so much between the first time I took the test and the second time I took the test. There's a lot to unpack, but I'm going to try to get it all in this video, and if I forget anything, I'll make another one. Just know wherever you are in your bar prep journey, you will make it. If that's what you want to do, you're able to do it. I promise you, you'll be fine. But hopefully this video helps some of y'all just kind of reframe your mind and approach it a little bit differently. So how do you actually pass the bar exam? Well, you need to study a lot. The bar exam is a 2-day test that you take after graduating law school. So lawyers take the bar exam to become attorneys. A lot of people don't know that. Now you do. The bar exam covers all of your major first year law school classes. Now, why they make us take those classes the first year and then take the test after 3 years, I'm not sure. So since all the material is from your first year of law school that you probably don't remember, you're probably going to want to get a study plan. There's a lot of great ones out there. I suggest you do your research. I use Themis. Themis was offered to me by my school for free. I think technically it was in our tuition, so maybe not free, but we got it, okay? And I didn't have to pay extra for it when I had it. And I used it both times I took the exam. I found that Themis did a really great job of putting concepts into digestible terms that I could understand, put into my own words or my own understanding, and then apply it to a question on the test or a practice question or whatever. I really like that program for that reason. I know a lot of people who've used Themis who have passed the bar, and I know a lot of people who have used a lot of other study materials who have also passed the bar. But I do think that it's beneficial for you to get a study program because trying to take the bar exam without a guide is very difficult. The way that these study programs are set up, they have you approach the material at certain times for certain reasons so that you can make use of and digest the material when you need to, and then bring it out, pull it out, explain it, apply it when you need to. So the program will also keep you on a schedule, so you don't have to really think about making one or coming up with what you want to go over for the day. It'll just be ready for you on your program. So I suggest getting a program. I think it makes this process much easier. So go ahead and get on that. They can be a little bit pricey, so if your school doesn't offer it, make sure you look into it early. If you need resources, reach out to your school CSO or admin's office or whatever and see if you can figure something out that way. But I do definitely recommend reach out to your school administrators. I know sometimes they have programs for bar prep and things like that. So use your resources and get yourself a study program. Now, you got to stay disciplined and follow the program. It's not going to work for you, okay? You're going to have to put in the work. You're going to be in a 12 to 15 week period, depending on when you start studying, of straight discipline, okay? It's going to be a lot of work. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. I'm not going to tell you that you can get away with skimming material. No, you're going to have to sit down, buckle up, put your thinking cap on, and really get into these concepts if you want to pass this test, okay? You cannot go into it like, oh, I kind of know. No, don't even leave any room for error. Just Master the material as best as you can. You're not going to master 100% of the material now. Remember, I just said master the material as best you can. And I promise you, your best will be enough at some point. If it's not enough the first time, or if it's not enough at the beginning of your study program, it will be enough. You just need practice. You need repetition. You need reps. You have to practice every single day. Yes, it is a horrible process. I cannot stress that enough. I'm not even afraid to say I hated that. I hated bar prep. I really did. But it's possible if you commit to it. And committing means committing to being disciplined. It's also a lot of material that you need to know. I'm not going to sugarcoat that either, okay? I can show you my books. Actually, let me just show you my books from Themis. Hold on. So, these are all my books, okay? It's a lot of material. Oh, it's heavy. Okay, let me put this down. It's a lot of freaking material, okay? And it gets overwhelming. You feel like you need to know absolutely everything, and I'm telling you, you don't. But don't make the mistake of thinking, I need to spread myself so thin to cover all the material that I won't dive into the material. No, dive in, okay? Make sure you can explain it to a lay person or somebody who doesn't know anything about the law. Make sure you're able to write it out in an explanation. Make sure you're able to apply it to a situation, which again brings up the fact that we need to what? Practice. You need to practice. You got to practice these skills. If you don't practice the skill, you're never going to get good at it. The bar exam, for me, was not a test that I was just good at. I'm sure some people are going to be just great at taking the bar exam. I, for one, was not one of those people. I really struggled. It was hard for me. But when I put in the work, I got the results I wanted. I recommend making a schedule. I like the bar prep program that gives you a schedule for studying. I think it's beneficial for you to have a schedule as well. So map out, what time you'll wake up, what time you'll start studying, what time is your break, what time are you going to the gym, what time are you eating lunch, what time are you eating dinner, what time are you in the bed, so that you can keep track of how much sleep you're getting. Those are the types of things that are really, really important during this time that I definitely neglected the first time I studied for the bar. This also brings me to a good point that you want to make sure that when you're in this mode of, I gotta study, I got work to do, that you continue to be a regular human being, okay? You're going to be in a very not regular situation as you're studying for the bar. A lot of your friends and family aren't going through this process, and it's a very isolating process. You spend hours on end by yourself with tough material that only you can decipher. And that can be really challenging. It can be easy to kind of just seclude yourself and not interact with the outside world just for the sake of, you have work to do, you have things to do. My first time I took the bar exam, I was so focused on just the bar exam. Don't be focused on just the bar exam. Focus on yourself too. Focus on your health. Focus on your mental health. It's so important because those are the things that make the difference between a failing score and a passing score. You want to be at your best on test day. You don't want to be just ready for the test just because you think you know everything. You want to be physically ready, mentally ready, emotionally ready, spiritually ready. So this is a time for you to tap into all of that. Be disciplined in all those areas of your life. If it's praying every morning and every night, if it's journaling, if it's meditation, if it's stretching, yoga, going for a walk, exercise, moving your body. Do something every day that's going to take you outside of bar prep. Don't let bar prep be your everything for the next 12 to 15 weeks. I promise you it won't work out well for you. You need to take a break, okay? Speaking of breaks, make sure that you take them. Okay? As lawyers and as very ambitious and successful people, I know that we are trained to kind of just keep going, like just whatever it is, we're just going to push past it and we're going to keep working. And at times that is necessary, but there are times when you need to take a break and listen to your body and listen to your mind and let yourself reset so that you can be the best version of you and put your best self out there. That's something that I definitely changed from the first time I studied to the second time. The first time I was so focused on the bar that I didn't allow myself breaks. I isolated myself from family and friends. I, didn't call my friends and I didn't hang out as much because I felt like I couldn't. I felt like I was, doing this super hard thing and that I had to just be like super laser locked in focus. And that is very true, but that doesn't mean that it has to look like isolating yourself from the rest of the world and working yourself to death. You need interaction, you need community, you need space to breathe, you need space to release, you need space to relax and to rest. And if you don't give yourself that, your body's going to take it from you at some point. Burnout is a real thing during this process, and I don't think there's much you can do to avoid it altogether, but you can make your experience through burnout much easier if you have allowed yourself the space and the time to relax and breathe. Because if you don't, when it's time to do that, it's all going to pile on you at once and you're going to get into that mode where like you can't even get out the bed. And I know we've been there before, okay? It's overwhelming, it's stressful, it's not fun. So to avoid that, let yourself breathe. If there's a moment where you're stuck in an assignment and you're feeling like your head is literally about to explode and you just can't focus and read it, close the book. Close the laptop, just close it. Take a break, take a breath, take a second. Like, it's okay. It'll be okay. It'll be there when you get back. Don't overwork yourself. There are times when you're going to need to push, yes. There are times when you're going to need to ignore that feeling of I don't want to do it, or I don't feel like it. But you know the difference between I just don't feel like doing it right now and I need to take a step back. I need to give myself a second because I need a break. When you find yourself saying, I need a break, I need to take a step back, I can't look at this right now, do that. Do me a favor, do that. Put it down, call a friend, go out for some coffee, go to the movies, stretch, do some yoga, I don't know, anything. Call family, call your parents, call your mom, your dad, your grandmother, your sister, your brother. Don't sit in that feeling of you're by yourself and you need to get this done and no one else can help you, because that's not true. Give yourself a break and reach out to people that love and care about you, because this is a difficult journey and you're going to need their support, and it's more beneficial for you to lean on them than it is to not. And the last step is to believe in yourself. Tell yourself that you can do it. Envision yourself being able to pass this test. I'm telling you, if you work at it, if you practice, if you put in the work, if you follow the plan, if you elevate your mindset, you can pass this test. It's not impossible. And quite honestly, it doesn't matter how many times you need to take it. If becoming an attorney is what you want to do, don't stop until you get there. I do understand that the test does cost money, so that is a factor. But if you have the resources and the means to make this happen, and it's something that you want to make happen, make it happen. Put in the work. Even if you don't get it the first, second, third time, you will eventually, because at some point you're going to get the test down to a point where it's not something that you've never seen before. Now, I do know that they are changing the bar exam for this upcoming cycle, but I don't think that changes any of the advice I've given here. This video was just sharing some of the mindset changes that I made between the first time I took the test and the second time, and what really stood out to me as being super, super helpful in terms of how I approached, how I studied, how I approached this, 12 to 15 week period of my life. And I think it worked out well for me because I am now a licensed attorney. You can do it. Oh, what else did I want to say? I'll leave y'all with this because I had a professor tell me this after I failed the first time, and it stuck with me the entire time I studied for the second exam. He told me that the number one reason why people don't pass the bar exam after failing once or more than once is their own inability to push past the fact that they failed. It stopped them literally from trying again. And to an extent, it's understandable. This is a crazy process, not one that I wanted to go through twice at all. As a matter of fact, I had a panic attack when I found out that I failed the first time, because in my head I was thinking, there's no way I can do that again, and then some, which was obviously necessary because I didn't pass, so something was missing. But what I didn't realize what was missing was the way I was approaching this process, the way I was approaching the material, the way I was approaching the test, and the way I was approaching myself when it came to taking this test. I had to take a step back and realize, if this is something that I want to do, the only thing that's stopping me is me. And I can get out of my own way for 10 to 15 weeks or for however long it takes to get this done. And you can too. So I hope this video was helpful. If it was, let me know in the comments what really stood out to you. If y'all have any questions, also leave them below. I'm happy to answer anything, honestly. My experience and journey with law school was crazy and hard, and I see all of you out there working really, really hard, and I just want to be there to be a resource for y'all. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'd be happy to answer them. Leave them in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye. Oh, hi. Do you have anything to say? Okay.